On this episode of ResiWeek, why you should be headed to Denver for CEDIA Expo 2023, September 7th through the 9th, what booths to see and classes to check out. All that and more next on this episode of ResiWeek.
The network for the AV industry.
What are you listening to?
This
is AV.
This
is AVNation.
This is AVNation.
We can't say the future without AI. I mean, there's no way around it. 50% of workers now believe AI is going to improve their experience. When I come into the meeting room, I need a way to incorporate my AI with what's going on in the meeting. It's almost a bring your own AI type of a concept. Most of what we do in our day-to-day is going to change significantly.
Hear the latest AV trends and predictions in this episode of Crestron's Smarter Spaces podcast on your preferred podcast platform.
This is ResiWeek, episode 396. Get your butt to Denver. This is ResiWeek, your weekly wrap-up of all the latest news and stories for the residential side of the AV industry. At least, normally that's our thing, but this week it is all about CEDIA Expo 2023 because that is the news. CEDIA Expo takes place tomorrow, September 7th through the 9th in Denver, showcasing all the latest innovations within the residential space. In addition, the very first Commercial Integrator Expo is going on alongside CEDIA Expo, further blurring that line of commercial, residential, and resimercial. Ahead of me are a few familiar faces to this show to discuss just a hint of the things that you can expect to see on the show floor.
Well, a number of things. First, the video, I guess we're calling it multi-view now, which we'll be demoing. It's kind of what we showed off at InfoComm, but we're bringing it into the booth here at CEDIA. That'll be where you can see the Just Add Power tiler in action. It's an interface that goes into Control 4 and just makes it really easy to use. And that's the reason it's up there, is because I've been testing it and trying to get some last minute things changed and fixed and all that good stuff. We also have our linear lighting design tool, which we're officially launching at CEDIA. So if you're doing any type of linear lighting, that's something to come and look at. It basically makes it really easy to spec out and go from the back of the napkin drawings and notes straight into a design where you can just simply price out all the parts and pieces you need for linear lighting and make it easy for you. So those are probably our biggest things on there. We are going to have all sorts of new and interesting things in the booth as well. We've got some HVAC smart vents that we've been selling on the website for a while, but we've got Control 4 integration with those as well. So there's all sorts of goodies that are going to be at the booth.
So we're changing things up just a little bit. We're going to be doing some 4K 60 444 gaming. So we'll have a PS5 setup, and you can see our no latency Max Color product, as well as USB-C over IP. So our new Max 2 product supports USB over the network, USB-C. So we'll be doing not only video, audio, we'll also be doing controllers over the network as well. So you'll have a display that you can see that is direct connected and play on direct connected and also across the network. Again, doing 4K 60 444 over an IP network. We'll be showing plug, play, present, which we've shown in the past, but people completely dig, which is also cool for gaming when somebody just plugs in a console and the TV magically turns on and goes to that input. And we will be highlighting audio return channel over the network now with our Max product, which is pretty awesome and great for your large resi projects as well as resimercial projects. So it's all about 4K 60 444 over a gig network with our Max Color product, USB-C, gaming, no latency, no loss, all the fun stuff. And then we'll be, highlighting some other things in the last few trade shows. We show our Warp engine, which allows us to rotate video and all that fun stuff. And then we'll be giving away 3 guitars this year, supporting Guitars for Vets. This year we're mixing it up. We typically pick a guitar and we give that same guitar away every day. This year we're giving away a white on white Fender Stratocaster. It's a Players Series Strat with a little tip of the hat to Jimi Hendrix. We're giving away a Paul Reed Smith Silver Sky. It's an SE model, and it's the John Mayer signature guitar. And then we're giving away a EVH Wolfgang. So Eddie Van Halen's signature guitar this year as well. So 3 days, 3 fun guitars, and whoever wins, there are 3 guitars and 3 years of lessons a year of lessons that go to 3 vets in your name. So should be pretty cool, pretty fun. And you have to be present to win. So show up at our booth at 3. The magic number is always 3 guitars, 3 days, 3 p.m. Then there's three vets that win off your good karma. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, last year we were a little bit stealth with our big release of the Aura illuminated shades. We didn't really talk about it at all before the show. Kind of teased a little bit of, hey, you're going to want to come see something. But it was one of those things that word of mouth spread, and a lot of people said they thought the most innovative thing they'd seen at the show, and in some cases seen at the show in a number of years. So this year we're making a really big deal out of it. The difference with last year it was kind of more of a sneak peek, knowing that it wasn't going to launch until later, this year. We have now actually officially launched it, rolling out to dealers nationwide. So we're excited to show that off again. We know a lot of people didn't get a chance to see it last year, and we want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to fully experience Aura. And then so that's in our kind of a separate little booth right next door to our main booth. And then in our main booth, we'll have a broad array of all of the different types of products that Hunter Douglas offers, from silhouette, pirouette, basic roller and screen shades, but also some types of shades that people might not have seen before, like our architectural roller shades that we launched last year, that are pretty cool, give a little bit of I guess texture and I don't know, structure, if you will, to a traditional roller shade. So lots of different types of shade products. But I think the real excitement will be around those Aura illuminated shades, because it is just something that, a lot of people have just never seen before. And we keep hearing new and interesting ideas for how people are going to use them.
So this year we are running a digital passport game. It is PMC and Powerhouse presents Scan Venture. Well, we will help navigate traffic on the showroom floor by guiding or steering the traffic to our valued vendor partners, where they will answer trivia questions about specific products, new products, or do photo challenges, where they will earn points that they can trade in for spins at the Powerhouse booth for instant prizes or for raffles for larger prizes.
We're rolling out some of our newest product in our Protect and Connect line. We're going through a complete refresh on really the entire product line. So what you'll see is we have a brand new booth at booth 3920 from what was kind of our previous one, which way that was laid out. The new one's fun and it's exciting. We'll be demoing that SurgeX Connect software as well. We've got a whole new family of products we'll be launching. We'll be teasing some other stuff too that's coming, which will be down the line. But most of that stuff is all going to be ready and set to launch here by Q2 2024. So that's pretty exciting to see that stuff happening. In addition to the booths, CEDIA Expo also offers a healthy dose of education and courses to further your abilities within the AV industry. Here's just a sample platter of some of the classes that you can expect to see at the show.
I'm going to start with certification. The big push, and we're going to get into this topic later in the conversation, I'm sure, is you are working in this industry. You know your stuff. You're doing excellent work, projects. Your clients are thrilled with what you're doing. Why are you not getting certified and putting that certification to work for you, differentiating yourself in one other way? It's a very low level of effort if you're already competent in what you do, and come on over to Expo where we can help you just commit to that and get it done. So certification, education, and testing are being offered at the show. In other news, we have a new publication coming out while we're at Expo about immersive audio. So there's a great track of audio training happening at the show, and you'll see lots about that when we're all together in Denver in just a few days.
When it relates to business, being able to work with different personality styles is important, and it's vital to the success of yourself, your role, and the company. Being able to relate, being able to communicate in the styles other people need that might not necessarily be a natural style to your own. Understanding some people need written communication, some people prefer verbal, some people need fewer details, some people need to understand the whole story before they get on board. All of that is important to be able to operate efficiently as a team and work successfully together. When you go outside of your actual company, being able to have those conversations when you're in sales conversations, when you're talking between sales and engineering, all of those, you're met with different personalities. So the more easily you can identify what that personality is, how they're going to prefer to communicate, the easier you can adjust, make some tweaks to your style, and be able to help bring people to your side of the table as you're having those conversations.
I was first introduced to it from my business coach, and we've been working together for like 13 years now. And shout out to Dave Shanebeck. He really used this from day one when he met me, and he used this to be able to assess who I was so that he knew how to coach me. He knew the type of person I was, what I was going to respond to, what was going to work. And he also needed to know how to make adjustments in himself to be able to work well with me, and to be able to use different techniques and different motivations to see what to really get the most impact in working with me versus just using a blanket strategy working with everybody. And if he stayed in his natural personality type, and he'll admit this, it probably would be a little too dominating for me, because that was more of who he is naturally, and he's also more of an outgoing person, whereas I'm a little bit more reserved. I'm a little bit more detail oriented, and I'm a little bit more specific in what I need. And you know, he probably wouldn't have worked right away. And you know, and that really was the entry point to this. And we've taken this, and he's taught me to take this to apply to hiring, management. I mean, I have a file of everybody on our team and their disc profile, and everybody on our team is on board also has a copy of their own, so that they know a little bit more about themselves. And I've understood more about myself in the last 10, 12 years than I knew prior to that because of this. And that's why it's just so fascinating. And then if you start to look at it, you can apply it to any type of relationship, just like Brittany said, personally, professionally. It's just such a great way of being able to feel more comfortable in working with people, especially if that's not your strength.
The initial intent behind it was there was a gaining, an increasing volume of press and chatter about some of the new technologies that were coming out, to like Matter, and I think at the time it wasn't even called that. Well, you know what? Other technologies, you know, obviously Z-Wave, but now, you know, Wi-Fi, Thread, other technologies are starting to kind of create even increased level of confusion in the marketplace. And so this platform playground continues to evolve to really talk about how things are today, how things have evolved. We still have a panel of experts. We're bringing in key leaders from the CSA, that's the Alliance for Matter, from Yale, because our good friend Kevin is going to be there. You know, we've also got Samsung coming in, myself with Z-Wave. I can also talk about some other things. And Avi Rosenthal is going to do the moderating this year, just to bring kind of a different spin, if you will, to the questions and the conversation. So I think it's a really good session for members to come to, because their customers, if they're not asking about it now, they will be asking about it. And your favorite manufacturers are building products for these platforms. So it's good to know what they are and how they will relate to each other. And you get to ask questions from these experts.
That is, all in all, just a handful of reasons among the many that you should be headed to Denver for CEDIA Expo 2023, if you're not already headed that way. It may surprise you, but I've heard that on some authority that one Matt Scott, host of this show, when I'm not overwriting it, will be making an appearance, his first time out of Canada in, I don't know, like 12, 20 years. In addition, Tim Albright from AVNation will be on the show floor as an influencer, as well as providing some coverage of the show. I've also heard reports of a Chris Neto who will be forced to eat pineapple pizza. So if you see either of them, definitely make sure that you pester them. I will not be going. I'm not allowed to go in places anymore. Not out of Barcelona. But where you can find us is right here on AVNation.tv, covering shows like CEDIA Expo, like Integrated Systems Europe, alongside our weekly shows for the commercial and residential side, and deep dive specialty shows like A State of Control. When you visit the website, be sure to check out our underwriters. They are key in getting us to trade shows and making podcast shows. So all that and more at AVNation.tv. That is all the time we have for this episode of ResiWeek.